Howdy fam, this is Bigtone coming at you from Bigtone Productions, Beats and Feasts. And you know what time it is. It's time for another cooking video. And today we're going to do, well, let me paint the scenario. You come home from work, you're tired, you don't want to spend a whole bunch of time in the kitchen. You don't want to do a whole bunch of cleanup. You want something new, something that's fresh, and you know exactly what's in the ingredients. I got the perfect option for you. Lasagna soup. And I want to give a big shout outs to Divas Can Cook, so go on over to her channel and show her some major love. She does a great stovetop version of this recipe. I'm doing mine all in a power pressure cooker. And hey guys, if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe to it and turn on your post notifications so you know when a new video comes out, which is every Friday, by the way. Go ahead and smack that like button, comment, and share the video as much as you can. Alright guys, let's get started with some lasagna soup. The supporting cast is very easy and very simple, although it does look like a lot of ingredients. Quite a few spices that go in it, but don't let that intimidate you. So to begin with, we got 1 pound of ground beef, and we got 1 pound of mild Italian sausage. Now you can use whatever meat you want to use. If you want to use ground turkey, you want to use just sausage, or you want to use just ground beef, that's your preference. I'm using both. So as far as the sauces go, we got some tomato sauce. I'm using 2 cans. We got some diced tomatoes. I'm using 2 cans of that. We're using about 4 cups, maybe 5 cups of chicken broth. And then for my vegetables, I got 1 cut up red bell pepper, 1 yellow bell pepper, and then I got a whole onion cut up here. And we gotta have garlic to go with that. You know, you gotta have the garlic. So, and you can use any kind of bell pepper you want to. If you want to use green, that's totally up to you. A little bit of vegetable oil, you can use EVO if you want to. And then as far as my lasagna goes, I'm just using regular box lasagna from the store. You can use the oven ready if you want, that's totally up to you, but I'm just using the regular. So let's jump to the spices. This is where there's a lot of spices. So we got some basil leaves, a little bit of cumin, some Italian seasoning, some some ground thyme, I should say, some rosemary, some leaf oregano, and I got some red pepper chili flakes, a little bit of parsley, a little dry parsley, and then of course I can't go anywhere without my pink Himalayan sea salt, and some fresh cracked black pepper. And then a little bit of Worcestershire sauce never hurt. And you know, as far as the spices, you spice this up the way you want to. This is what I'm choosing to use. I forgot to tell you, I'm using a little bit of liquid smoke. I like that little bit of flavor. So you use what you want to use, but those are the basic ingredients that I like to use. But anyway, let's get started with putting this together, guys. 1 pot, easy meal. First thing we're going to do is we're going to do our vegetables. I'm going to put my onions in. I got a little bit of vegetable oil in the pressure cooker, and I have the pressure cooker on sear mode. So we're going to put in our vegetables. I'm going to start with my onion first. Got to say it like Justin Wilson. I don't know why this is an Italian dish. But anyway, my onion goes in. Got this pressure cooker on sear mode. So it's going to start searing up the onions. And we're going to cook these for a couple minutes on sear mode just so they start to get a little bit translucent before we add our garlic, which is going to be our next ingredient. The onions are sauteing up here nicely. So I'm going to add in a little touch of garlic. Well, I'm going to add in a large tablespoon of garlic. Very large tablespoon. Tomato sauce and garlic go hand in hand. Alright, to that right away, I'm going to add my red bell pepper. And my yellow bell pepper. Alright, we're going to let that cook down for just a couple minutes. We don't want to burn our garlic. Garlic is very easily burned. So we're going to let that cook for just a second. I'll come back and add my ground beef and Italian sausage. Alright guys, so we're going to add our ground beef to the mixture. Going to chop it up in there. And we're going to add our Italian sausage. We're just going to chop this up in here. And we're going to let this brown off. It's going to take a few minutes to do that. So once I get this all chopped up and ground up, I'll be back. And we'll start adding our rest of our ingredients, guys. Bear with me just a moment. As you can see, the ground beef is just about where I want it to be. Not quite totally brown. But before it gets there, I'm going to add in a little bit of rosemary to my ground beef. And I'm going to spice it up with a little salt. And this is just on the ground beef. And a little bit of fresh cracked black pepper. Can't talk today. Alright, so I'm just seasoning my meat up just a little bit before I put the rest of the ingredients in here. And if you guys have any, if you have a lot of ground beef, if you have ground beef that has a lot of fat on it, and you got some grease in here, you might want to drain it off. Mine doesn't, so I don't have to do that much. Any little extra grease in there, I'm fine with. This ground beef is like a 90-10, so it didn't have a whole lot. But if you do have a lot of grease, like I said, drain that off. We're going to add in our diced tomatoes now. 2 cans. And we're going to add in our tomato sauce. Two cans. We're going to stir this up a little bit. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Look at that. Woohoo! Alright, so now we're going to add our spices. And we're going to start with, it doesn't matter what you start with here, but I'm going to add a little bit of cumin, a little bit of basil, a little bit of Italian seasoning. You got to season this up. A little bit of dried thyme, a tad bit of leaf oregano, and then my chili flakes here. Give a little bit of spice to it, not a whole lot. There we go. Add a little bit of parsley. And I'm going to add a little dash of Worcestershire sauce. And a little dab of liquid smoke. Alright, so I'm going to mix this up well. Oh man, I can smell the spices from here. That's what I'm talking about. Alright, so next thing I'm going to add is my chicken broth. This is a 32-ounce container. Basically 4 cups. We're going to see what it looks like at that point. We may add a little bit more. We're definitely going to add these 4 cups. You can use beef broth if you like. I prefer the chicken broth. So there's 4 cups. And I am going to add probably another 2 cups of chicken broth to this. The other way that you can make this is a little bit easier. Is you can use a pre-store-bought spaghetti sauce. But if you're like me, I usually spice those up too. So you can use that if you want. Totally up to you. I'm going to put 2 more cups of chicken broth in here, because that pasta is going to soak it up. There we go. And then I am going to give this a little bit of a taste, just to see where my spice level is. I'm going to add a little bit of garlic powder in here. I didn't tell you guys this in the initial supporting cast, but we're going to add a little bit of garlic powder. And I'm going to add a little bit more salt to this. After tasting, I think it needs some more salt. And to my liking, a little bit more black pepper. Alright, let's stir this up a little bit more. And you got to overspice this because you're putting this chicken broth in it, which is going to dilute a lot of the spicing. Give it another taste here. Yes, I did wash off the spoon. Ah, yeah, there we go. There we go. All right, and one other ingredient that I failed to tell you guys about is a little bit of Parmesan cheese. I'm going to add just a little bit in here. So I apologize for that. I didn't tell you about that in the supporting cast. Alright, and then we're going to add our pasta. And so what I've done is I've just gone and broken my pasta up. Yep. Could have done that better. Into small bite-sized pieces. We're just going to push that down in here. And literally, it's as simple as that. One last ingredient that I'm going to add is I'm going to add a bay leaf or 2. Make it 2. Don't forget to take your bay leaves out, guys. You don't want to bite down on one of those. It's not pleasant. Alright, so we got all our ingredients in there. And we're going to put the lid on. And we're going to lock it down. You line up the little line in the arrow. It's only going to take between 5 and 10 minutes to cook this in the power pressure cooker. We're just getting the pasta hot and making sure those ingredients get incorporated together. But we're going to hit the soup stew button. Automatically defaults to 10 minutes. It's going to start going around and around here. Bam. And by the magic of YouTube, I'll be back in a few seconds. But it's literally going to take between... I'll probably come back at about 5 minutes and check it. If it's not where I want it, I'll put it back on for another 5 minutes. 5 minutes. That's all it took for the noodles to get nice and limp. And all the sauces, all the spices and everything are incorporated. I'm going to plate this up for you in a bowl. I'll be back in a second. Alright guys, so I got this in a bowl. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of Parmesan. And what would lasagna be without cheese? So I'm going to sprinkle Parmesan cheese over top. It's a little bit there. And then you can use whatever cheese you want. I'm going to put some fresh queso on it. A little bit of queso on it. I suggest putting the cheese on your actual bowl that you're putting out there, because otherwise it gets real glumpy inside the pressure cooker. Then I'm going to put a little bit of mixture of cheeses on it. Just like that. Oh man, that looks good. looks good. And I'm gonna dollop mine with a little bit of sour cream there. And a little bit of fresh parsley to go, parsley to go over the top. I shouldn't say fresh. But hey guys, there you go. Lasagna soup. Doesn't get too much better than that, guys. So, you know what I'm waiting for? I'm waiting for that bite. Ooh, boy, let me get into this. Oh my God. I had to get some noodles. Oh Lord. Oh man. That is awesome, guys. It's so quick. They'll never think that you were in the kitchen for 15-20 minutes making this. It seems like it takes hours. But hey guys, if you like this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications, make sure you share the video. And hey, this is Bigtone signing off. Peace.